of course, you yourself, Mr. Titus, you are a father.
Yeah.
Do someone who is a grown-up, an adult, need a father in their life? If yes, why?
Definitely yes. Why? Because the fatherly guidance, there is no limit to it. From
Okay.
birth, even while you are, let me say, 50, 60 years, if
Mm-hmm.
your father is alive, he will still be guiding you.
Okay.
Why? Because we grew up with parents who don't want you to put your hand in anything that is bad. We grew up with parents who don't want you to, like, especially their daughters, they don't want you to wear promiscuous clothes. We grew up with parents who nurtured you in their best interest. They want you to do what is right because at their old age, the community at large is looking up to them. They will not want you as their own child to come and disgrace them. When they come to the community or a section of the country you are from,
Mm-hmm.
the world today we have is a global village. So communication is easy. A father who has so much respected himself, built around himself good things, and the community or even the country at large respects him a lot. At the end of the day, if you, the child, go to another country and do what is contrary to what he has taught you, definitely it's coming back on him because now we have a situation where in Italy per se, there was a situation they have to from this country go and arrest somebody in Abuja,
Mm.
issue of misconduct or whatever. So this is someone who has gone to the family, and it to me is a big slap on their face and a disgrace to that community she's coming from. You will not expect a father to be happy. You have lived your years abroad, like 15, 20 years. You've returned to them, they are happy, and the next thing, the police people came, they arrest you, extradite you from your country, and take you back to wherever you have committed this crime.
Mm.
So that's why, even no matter the age you are, if your father is still alive, if you talk with him always, he will definitely guide you, counsel you, my son or my daughter. You remember the family you are coming from, you know the don't and do. He will keep
Can
reminding
I
you those things.
Yes. Okay.
Okay,
can I
I think
ask you something? Sorry. Can I just
Yes.
yeah,
ask you something? What would you say if that father figure doesn't want to do that?
if the father
What?
doesn't want to do that,
Yeah, because listen, there are fathers, right? I love your culture because I
yeah,
feel like no matter what the situation is, I think that each parent knows where they stand, right? And
yeah.
they know that once they become a parent, they are parent until the day they die. And I
Mm,
like that about your culture, but like where I'm coming from, that's not the case. So what would
okay,
you say? Like, because obviously I love hearing what you said and I really appreciate it,
yeah.
but what about the fathers that don't want to be that guidance? They don't want to be involved. What would
Okay,
you
they
say
don't want
about
to
that?
be involved with the.
A
They don't
father,
want to.
a
If they don't
father
want to be involved with the children, right?
guiding their
Yeah.
children and playing their father's role.
Okay, them not playing their fatherly role. First, first, I think what we have to look into is the background, how mother to the kids, and himself has raised these children. There are fathers who are nonchalant of their duties. I know that they don't want to perform their duties. There might be some certain reasons, because there is one thing I tell people, like where I'm coming from, but I don't know how your culture rules over those things. There are people who, like women, who think because of pregnancy, I can capture this man.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's
when
a
you,
whole another. Yeah.
yeah, well, I'm trying to answer your question, but if it comes some situation like that, there are fathers who will not care about the child, or whatever the child does, they don't care, and they leave the child to his own detriment. Anything you do is none of their business. There are a lot of parents who are like that. I'm not saying all parents are the same. There are a lot of parents who go out of track for their children. No
Yeah.
matter what it costs them, they will do whatever it takes to guide their children. But there are other parents who will never do that, because for me personally, you check the background you are coming from. We, but when your father is not doing that, does not mean you have to go about misbehaving, because there is a right and wrong to what everybody does. If you if you live wherever you live, you show a good example, everybody embraces you. But if you
Yeah.
say because the father is not, who is careless about the child, as in he don't need anything concerning the child, he didn't raise the child properly, and is not guiding the child or counseling the child, that means you, as the son or daughter, you must play your own part, because if anywhere you are living, there are laws that are guiding your environs. That's why from my place they said a child that is not having father and mother, whenever they are advising the one that has father and mother, he or she listens. So
Yeah.
if you find out that your father is the type that don't guide you, that means you have, in your own way, if there is a family you are close to, a very close friend. So when they are guiding that friend, that means you have to pay attention. You have to understand, without my father, I can do, you can wake up as you growing up gradually, and you find out that your dad is somebody that steals. So that does not mean you bend to that, because you know the law is against it. So
Right.
that kind of father, I think, is not what the child can lean on. And from my own experience, I think those kind of father are the ones that take claim at the end of the day. When
Hmm.
the child becomes something good, they start battling, running around. Who knows the child, and who is this that is close to the child? Is my son or is my daughter? I want to speak with him. Then you have lost the track of fatherlyhood. When you
Yeah.
guide a child, he or she will not ever forget. When you want to do something, you pick up, this is what my father told me then that I should not do. You deviate from it.
Yes.
There are a lot
Yeah.
of resolutions you want to make in certain year. You can say, in this year I will do this. But if you remember your background and how your father have been encouraging you to do good, you leave those things and do what is right. So the kind of parents we come from, the kind of family we come from, really writes something about us, but we can rewrite it.
Hmm.
Our father might be careless, but that does not mean when you are raising children, you will not care about them, you will ignore them. So that, let that spirit of ungodliness end with your father,
Uh-huh.
and you as the sibling. So you have to make sure your own children, you guide them in the best way that they will not deviate from what is good. So that is what I see in that aspect.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
That's a very. It seems to me that Tiasha agreeing with your explanation as well.
You know what?
Good evening, everyone. I don't know if you
I
hear me.
I wouldn't if I wouldn't know the culture you guys grew up in,
Good.
right?
Okay.
Because we do have some differences. Like there is still certain things that, I mean, your point of views like are really from your culture. And I do appreciate it. And I'm encouraging even my husband now because he's part of your culture to
Okay.
reflect that on our kids, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Um, but as I said, we Europeans, we unfortunately don't have this point of views, or our situations are not that narrow, if I might use that word, because there are different situations, There are
Yeah.
like fathers that are present, but they are not a father figure. They are just there like, I don't know, I'm your friend. No, you're not. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they take the fatherhood as a joke. Then there are cases that don't show up. There are
Hmm.
cases that are separated and there are loving parents, both of them, like father and mother, they are united, although in separate households. Situations are like limitless in this case. But I do appreciate what you said, and about, especially about that, if you have a friend or a family member you can look,
Of course.
Yeah.
up to. So
That's
I
true.
Okay.
appreciate that part. I do.
That is so. It is so important. I love the fact that you put in the aspect of culture in it. The fact remains
Yeah.
that even in titles discussion, I don't think it boils down to our culture generally. I think his point could be applied globally. It doesn't
Globally.
matter
Yeah.
if you're coming from
No,
Japan.
I didn't mean that he was just focusing. I meant like the way he saw it, as
Okay.
overall, like the suggestions he portrayed then out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was what was fascinating. What I meant is like in my culture, the view wouldn't be like that.
Definitely, that's
Mm.
true because we are part of
Yeah,
the environment that we grew up in. That is so true. That is so
yeah,
true. From our discussion, what one thing I have noticed already is that the problem is the same anywhere we go,
Yeah.
although our approach to it might be different based on where we grew up and the
yeah,
experience we had growing up. And it is also important because the question is listening to the two of you. It, I think I now agree that definitely you need a father, even being an adult. And at the same time, listening back to what Titus said as well, it becomes even a duty for the grown up child to decide if he or she is going to maintain the legacy of the father. And if he finds out that that legacy is nothing to write home about, the child can distance themselves from that bad legacy, unquote, from the experience that they have, and create their own self. So at the same time, it could happen that in our life, due to the circumstances that we find ourselves, being far away from our quote unquote father may mean a good thing for us as well.
yeah. I mean, like I said, I answered this question, and yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, growing up without him, I'm still like yes and no. I'm still insisting on that because yeah, I do understand why you need it.
Yeah.
I mean, why you need that father figure, but I also understand me and my experience. I just got used to it. My mom was my dad, as funny as that might sound. Like she was the one who taught me how to change the light bulb, or I don't know.
Yeah, but that is because there was no
Okay.
father figure
In
at
your
home.
Pedro, 1 second. In your
Yeah.
own case, was there issue of parent separation?
Also was part of it, yeah. But it was more about him deciding not to be in contact with me as much as I would like to, or maybe it would be normal.
Okay. Well, when when a family is separated, is another ball game.
Entirely.
Whoever the kids decide to go with, definitely we tell on them how they are being brought up. For me, I wouldn't blame anybody that is being raised by a mother. She was there and she's always looking out for the mother, not looking out for the father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But because if you need me tomorrow, why don't you play a good role with me today so that we'll be together tomorrow? So when the father
Yeah.
was not, is not in any child's life, when if you remember, there was a way I stated it, I threw it into what I said before,
Mm.
because if you are not there, you are not there.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't come from the sky and want to be there now because this child is okay. I need him or her because it's my old age. I just need to bring my family together. It doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
So that is
Now
what
this
I
I agree
believe.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because whom you know is who you know. But in cases that both the father and mother are together, they are not separated, and things happen that the children don't even care about their father, they only care about their mother. That's a different
Hmm.
thing entirely. Because I believe those kids, they don't know what they are doing. You love
Absolutely.
both
Yeah.
parents the same way. The way they raise you to love them and love yourself, even your siblings. When you are out of that point, you are really not doing the right thing. Because
That's so
when,
Yeah.
you know, at the age we are, if we still, I have mother who is well grown. My father is no more. But from beginning, from when I learned to say, okay, I will give them their monthly salary, it was equal.
Hmm.
Because I don't know who raised me most, but all I know is that the both of them have put in their best effort to raise me. So
yes.
whatever
Amen.
I'm
Yeah.
giving to them is divided equally. Do you
Good.
Yes.
understand? So that
Yes.
is what I see there. Maybe in case of separation, definitely kids will cleave to their mother, some will cleave to their father. So in just that one is a different ball game.
That is so true, and I think this is an opportunity for me to make it clear again. I mean, for our listeners or anybody that will come across the video later on, this particular topic today that we are talking about has to do with a situation whereby the those that are not in particular good terms with their parents today, or their father in particular, are actually the ones that they didn't have separated parents. Or even if that's the case, I really want the focus of our discussion today to be specific on those that along the line had a very good relationship with their dad growing up, but over time, maybe something happened in their life or other things come up that is beyond their control. They never find it necessary anymore to take care of their father, especially in this case, parents. That's I will bring this back a little bit to our culture. When I mean our culture, coming from Nigerian and most African culture, whereby we basically do not have government finance schools. Our parents, in recent, sent us to schools. They spend their hard-earned salaries and everything, training us, sponsoring us to university level and everything, fed us, and did everything humanly possible to make sure that we are okay. I think it is disgraceful that today, some of us, despite the fact that we are very far away from home, we don't find it necessary to keep in contact with such parents. This is one of the main things that I would like us to focus on. What we have discussed so far is very, very important. In the case of those that have parents that are separated and everything, we can sit down and have a discussion about that in a more detailed and comprehensive way, because I believe that is also a situation that a lot of us are going through today in our various homes and in our society. However, there are fathers today as we speak, they did the best that they could for their family, irrespective of what happened. Maybe they made some mistake along the line. Their kids no longer find it necessary to call them or talk to them. So that brings me to the second question that I would like to put to every of